Okay, Rob, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Wait, is that your own mute? Oh yeah, it is.
Then,
Yep, I'm back.
can't hear you yet. One second,
Yes.
maybe it's
No,
my
no,
setting.
no, I can hear you. Yep, it's all right. You playing on which server are you playing on? NA?
Okay,
You-
no, sorry,
Yep.
my bad.
Which server are you playing on?
US.
Okay. What's your name?
Fedgar.
Let's see here. Oh wait, can I see? Oh no. Wait, can you link me over GG so we can look at it first?
I linked it in the channel where you link all the information, but I can send it to
Oh,
you.
okay. No, I'll see it there then. It's introduce yourself. Yep. Yeah, I found it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
very excited.
Nice. Oh, you've been playing three blocks. Yeah, I mean, three
Yeah, I
blocking
started
is.
doing that
Yep.
because I had issues to play ranked at all, you know.
Yeah.
So at some point I tried to force myself just to play blocks of 3, and at some point it just came naturally.
Yep. I mean, that's a pretty good approach. I think. Have you been watching Pokemon Concept, for example, or something like that, where you got it from, or
Uh,
is it just
I don't
something
even
you
know where
came up
I
with?
don't even know where I got it from. I think it was even through Caillou or someone.
Okay. Yep.
Well, it
I
was
mean,
like I don't know 2 years ago or something.
okay. Yep. I mean, it's just a good way to handle any uh,
Yeah,
ranked
exactly.
anxiety. Yep.
Well, yeah, it was like basically the only thing that helped, you know.
Yeah. If you just force yourself to play three games, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yep,
Always
it's
better
also
than alcohol.
yeah, but it's also good for other reasons as well. Uh,
Yeah, for focus and stuff like that,
yeah,
right?
focus and stuff. Yep, intensity in general. Yep. You want to go rank Diamond 4, okay? Rengar Echo. Yep. I like your OBGG. I like that you are actually only playing Rengar and Echo instead of all these champions. I like it.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah,
experimenting going on here.
yeah. I've got on Rengar. I've got like 600,000 points.
Okay.
On Echo, they're like around about 200,000, but Echo I just picked up again because yeah, I play since season 2, so some stuff accumulated. But yeah, I came to the conclusion that mostly those two champions are the ones that I can basically play all the time without getting bored. Rengar especially. I
Yep, they're
don't I
really
don't
fun.
have that with other champions.
Yep. And the
Sadly.
good thing is that these are I actually love your champion pool really much here because they are two assassin champions.
Mm-hmm.
They basically play the same style. Uh, and you have an AP option here and you have an AD option here. I actually love this. I love this pool. It's just two champions or two assassins. So the identity of
Thanks.
this champion is to pick up the squishies, and then when you chase between champions, it doesn't like get confusing on like what the play style is.
Yeah,
For
exactly,
example, when you
exactly.
pick something like Wukong, kind of get like, oh, now you have to learn the champion, but you also have to learn the play
Mm,
style.
yeah, I mean, I played a lot of different champions, but I only played in normals, right?
Yep.
So I also have like I don't know 60,000 to 100,000 points in different champions, but those two are the ones that I basically focus on.
Yep. So if you want to pick up new champions, for example, I would still recommend for you to stick to the assassin
Mm-hmm.
mindset, the assassin identity. But if you want to pick up something else, no problem, of course.
No,
But
I
yeah, I
just,
mean,
I
it
just thought I'll just stick to those two. Maybe add a third one that's a little bit different because I
mhm,
found that I have problems with comps that have a lot of CC. Like a lot of CC, some games are
mm,
just basically unplayable for me sometimes. So
yeah,
um,
yeah, you have to
maybe
play
something in
really
this
careful on
direction.
assassins
Mm.
when they have a lot of CC. Okay. Yep. I also see that you building a lot of different stuff here. Is that something you're also kind of experimenting with on right now? A kind of divine
Excuse me,
builds
could you
here.
repeat that?
You're building a lot of builds here on Rengar.
Yeah, mostly I'm watching like the Rengar streamers
Hmm.
and trying a little bit out myself.
Yep.
So I was playing with Tiamat a lot, but then I just stopped because it slows you down, your power curve.
Hmm.
So now mostly I just go Dustblade or Eclipse. I
Yep.
tried a few games of Divine Sunderer, but it was only just to test the build.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as with your champion pool, is that you kind of don't want to mix it up too much. But then again, you have so much mastery on the champion that yeah, I don't see a problem with that at all.
Mhm.
But yep. So we can look at the game then. So what
Yeah,
do we?
it was
Yep.
also hard for me to pick a game, to be honest. I already wanted to submit it last week, but I just couldn't find a game that like shows my problems, like the
Hmm.
problems I feel during the game.
Okay.
Um, because last week I had a few very hard tilt games. I don't know why. Maybe
Hmm.
because I was sick. Um, but yeah, mostly then I realized, okay, the thing I want to focus on are the games I lose, even though I have a lead. So maybe if I can find out what I can do better in these situations, then I can get up my win rate a bit.
Yep. And the way I think about finding a good game to review, I wouldn't really overthink it too much. It's not like you have to have the perfect one. There's
Mm-hmm.
always something to learn in every single game, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. But there are some where like my mistakes is in the first minute is so
Yeah,
obvious. I
yeah,
thought,
of
okay,
course.
I need something
Yeah.
where I just have no fucking clue, like zero clue.
Hmm.
It's those are, but yeah,
Yep.
I just picked one I lost. So
Yep. Okay. So let's talk about the matchups here. What do you think about this game so far at this point?
wait a second. Oh, you're live one moment.
Am I streaming?
Are you?
I am. I'm sharing
Ah,
my
yeah,
screen.
watch stream. Yeah, okay, okay. Now I'm
Yep.
in the stream. Okay,
Oh, you're in the
so
stream chat.
this was a recent one. So what I was thinking is, I'm playing against Volibear. Usually, I don't want to 1v1 him because he's kind of tough for Rengar. I took Conquer because I thought, okay, there would be a lot of fighting with Jax, Volibear. Katrina also jumps in. Then the second information I had was match up top. Usually, I'd want to gank that, but since Camille didn't take Ignite, and yeah, the Jax had like 300, no, 400,000 points or something, I decided to focus more on the mid matchup because Tristana will want to go in like a lot and play very aggressive. And since Volibear can yeah, gank her, then I just want to cover her. And in case I want to try to three camp mid lane gank Katarina.
Hmm. Yep. We're probably
So
gonna talk about the
basically,
level three
yeah,
gank
so
as well.
basically path in the opposite direction to Volibear, and yeah, in case he paths in the same direction, I can still do the or try the mid lane gank, and yeah, that
Yep.
was basically the thought process.
Yeah, we can talk about the mid lane gank.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge issue Rengar players especially love to do with the mid gank, but yeah. Uh, yeah, top matchup, two TPs, not that important to focus on, not much kill pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They're still double melee though, so they might trade a lot, so it's something you want to kind of like keep an eye out for.
Mm-hmm.
Double melee, top lane,
Yeah, well, basically, if I
might
run
become
in as
volatile.
Rengar, I just feel like a fish stranded, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Jax
yeah,
just jumps away, and
yeah,
it's just
exactly.
lost time.
Yeah, I mean you have to go there like when you could just like E and
Yeah,
W then kind of thing. Yeah. Uh,
yeah, exactly.
but the good thing
Or
about
when
this
Camille
matchup,
pushed.
yeah, coming level 6 has really good gank setup.
Exactly.
The jungle matchup, yep, I mean you can avoid it, but the one thing we have to consider here is that the prio we get, especially the mid lane. So that's something
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk about in the mid lane matchup. But yep,
Mm-hmm.
Volleyball loves to gank, and Freng obviously loves to counter gank as
Yeah.
well. Rengar loves to look for counter ganks. In general, always the person who counter ganks is already in a winning position because you have the element of surprise, and the enemies just didn't account for you. So that's something you
Mm-hmm.
always want to think about when you're kind of like playing these. assassin versus gank heavy jungler. So mid matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in mid we have to recognize that Tristana gets insane prio because it's well, you know how Tristana works, and we have Ignite, and Katarina just cannot contest the wave clear on Tristana's part. So what you can
Yeah,
do is we can
yeah.
use this mid lane as prio. For example, 3 camp invade the Volibear or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Katarina is kind of hard to gank because you have to get a good gank because she can just
Yeah,
E away the minions and
yeah, exactly. That's why I was watching the whole time the mid lane just to
mhm.
see if they fight, if she's low,
Yeah,
because sometimes even if the Katarina shouldn't have prio, she still can have prio.
yep,
So yeah, but that's also what happened. So they were fighting, both were very low. So I knew, okay,
mm,
I can go there.
yep, yep,
Basically, I can also flash root her. So.
yep. Yep, so of course we always still want to look out for the free ganks, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but again, the usual way I approach this kind of matchups is okay. I have like this huge prior advantage here. It's range versus melee lane. Uh, I can maybe use the prior to
Mm-hmm.
invade to do something. So that's usually the go-to response. But you can also think about okay, the opportunistic ganking is still the best way, of course, if there is a gank present. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
bot matchup. Bot matchup is pretty safe. It's pretty safe
Yeah.
unless Lucian goes out of his way to trade. The reason why is because there are two both of the supports and both of the ADCs are ranged, so they don't get to trade as much, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
they're
think
basically the
their bot
opposite of
lane
the
is a
top
bit more
matchup.
pokey.
Yep. It's kind of the opposite of the top lane matchup, where there's two melees they have to trade when they last hit minions, but in bot lane it's usually not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's some kill lines, but when we have like two supports, kind of like enchanter with supports, it's just not likely that there's going to be a lot of happening or going on. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the bot line here.
Mm-hmm.
So yep, this game I would probably look to utilize the prior of this Tristana and maybe look to delete this Volibear. But yep, just a basic good ganks. That's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So where did you start? I mean, you basically can't start blue on Rengar actually this season. I tried it. It was it was horrendous.
Well,
But
you actually can, but it's still you don't have the option of the mid gank after 3 camps. You can do it after 4 camps
yep,
maybe, or if you skip the Raptors.
yep,
So yeah, I thought the opposite direction of Volibear, plus I have the mid gank option, so that's what I chose then.
yep. In general, the red buff start is really strong this season because it just gives you a better buff at level 1, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what a lot of junglers have to do. They want to start with the buff advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the meta is otherwise just like do 3 camps and look for options anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, red buff is really strong. Let's see, do we see where Volibear starts?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh,
Starts bottom because
Jax
Jax is
was
top.
yeah, Jax was chasing the
So yeah,
brush.
so at this point I knew he was it was a bottom start.
Yep,
Usually I also ping it, but for some reason I didn't ping it.
yep. It's always good to ping, because your laners don't know.
Mm.
Your laners have no clue. Okay, they're really fighting.
Yeah, so I saw the fighting Tristana was very, very low. So I thought, okay, that Katarina will
Hmm.
jump in, and then Volibear also appeared.
So
Here I
this
misplayed a bit.
Yeah, it's fine. So this is what I was talking about. This is what I was concerned about with the mid gank. So the Volibear actually ends up doing the mistake, not you. When you go for this gank, like 3 camps,
Mm-hmm.
and you go straight to this gank, it doesn't matter where the enemy jungler started. They have cleared 3 camps by the time, and they will be there as well. So as you
Mm-hmm.
can see, it's like a really easy for you to counter gank this because he just did the okay 3 camp into straight up gank. So
Mm-hmm.
what I love to do when I'm playing, of course, in this situation you have to go here because they're so low and they have to fight. But if you
Mm-hmm.
want to level 3 gank mid lane, what I always love to do instead is after Raptors I just run around,
Yeah.
kind of roam around and come from the other side. So that gives the enemy jungler a bit time to focus on their camps and commit to their camps, so they are not normally in the transition of switching between
So
jungle.
the way is longer for them to react.
Yep. So basically what happens is that You play 3 camps, enemy plays 3 camps. So basically what happens normally when you look for this mid gank is that the enemy has cleared their raptors and they are like in between the turrets when you gank them. They're like, oh shit, there's a gank happening. So they just walk 5 seconds and they are on the gank. And they are ready to counter gank. So that's why the 3 camp into gank, it has to be really fucking fast. It cannot be like an actual fight. It has to be just like a kill, like a pickup on a really low HP target.
Yeah, we're there basically simultaneously.
Yeah. So, but Rengar players love to do this because they have max ferocity, they have 3 stacks, level 3. They just love to do this, but you have to consider the enemy jungler's position. But this is really good. Let's see about the fight here.
Yeah, I thought she had her jump back up, so she wanted to bait them, but that's not what happened. And here I wanted to drag Volibear with double W it more into my minions because he would have died to them. What I didn't know is he stunned me right after my second W. I didn't know it was up again.
Oh yeah, the system is played there. The W usage.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, it's still fine with double kills. Really good. Very good. So now again, we know exactly what the enemy jungler is. So for example, this is a good position, but you kill the enemy jungler, you are really much stronger than them. Now, for example, if we had top prio, we could just look to invade the blue side because again, like we know exactly where the enemy jungler will go. So that's something you always want to consider. Let's wait. I was finished at this point. You clear 3 camps, enemy clears 3 camps. Like this is always also like almost always the case. Even if you are playing against something like well, if you are playing against Cartus, then it's kind of like he's 3.5 camps. But like in general, in most matchups, it's always you clear 3 camps, enemy clears 3 camps. So it's really
basically
simple.
just run straight at them.
Yeah. Consider enemy jungle. One going for level 3 ganks on mid. Yep. Flatline's pretty chill. As expected, they're all full HP. Not really that interesting.
Yeah, after the crap, I think I griefed a little bit.
Wait, did Katarina use flash in the first gank?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. Yep. So the way you want to use pings is that I know it's so much more easy and so much more fun. The way I do it as well, I just ping like camp there on or the camp there I expect it to be on. But what you want to do instead is you want to ping the enemy laner. Like first you like ping here like on the scuttle like dun 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 dun, and then you danger ping this guy because this guy got really close to dying because again like they have no clue where the jungler is. You do, so you have to kind of you have to inform your laners because otherwise they're getting away with so many free ganks if you just don't communicate with the team.
So basically ping at them.
Yeah, ping on top of them, basically.
Yeah, here at this point I griefed, I think.
Getting ganked. They have no clue of jungle trap. Okay.
Because I went for the wolves, I should have went straight into the bush. But I don't know, at this point when I was fighting the wolves, I already knew why am I fighting the wolves, not going to the bush, because the wave was coming back. I still make it, but it was, just luck.
Do we see that? Did we actually check the wave? Yep, this would be a really good time to go to the brush, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I realized, I still went to the wolves, so yeah.
Yep, it's fine, we get the run away. Yeah, but it's not like your lane cannot really contest the wave here, so they can still let it slow push. I wouldn't be too worried about this. But yeah, like it's really good that we recognize it, and yeah, there's something we want to recognize as soon as possible. Awesome.
Now here I knew Volibear had 2 camps up, but he might be back down again.
Yep.
So I don't know if this what I'm doing here is still okay or if it's very risky. Because I knew he's here, you'll see the ping in a moment.
Yep.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Yep. I don't really care. I think this is
Mm,
excellent. Even if you died to Volibear, like, well, it's not that big of a deal. The way I think about
mm,
all these junglers, especially assassin junglers, carry junglers, I always value my gold over the enemy gold. So
mm.
basically, if I can make gold, then yeah, I'll fucking do this anyway. Especially when I can get like my passive stack here as well. This is really good. I love this.
Mm,
So the way I think about carry junglers is you always want to make the most money as possible. So yep, I like this.
mm.
I wouldn't be sad even if I died to Volibear here because we already got the kill. We denied the enemy bot lane a lot of XP.
Yeah, after that, I checked the replay to see where he was, and he was at the chickens,
Mm,
at my
okay.
chickens.
Yep. So again, we have a few options here. Camille is also going to be hitting 6 soon. Top lane is
Yeah,
pushing out. This is really good.
yeah,
So
exactly.
also,
So I pinged her to go that I want to go in the bush.
yep. So
I don't know if it's disturbing for you, just saying what I was thinking at the moment.
yep, that's good. That's good. Um, yep. So this is really good. So the reason why 5 is 1, really good pathing. Check wave is pushing. Camille gets 6. Really good. I love this. Again, like we talked about the top matchup. Really
Mm,
good. Gank setup once level 6. Awesome. I love this. This is so fucking good. It's actually super good that you recognize these slow push waves because that's really important for jungling.
yeah.
Let's see. Yep, she gets 6 here. Yeah, Jack really cannot like leave anymore. Like he has to be here.
Mm.
I think in this matchup specifically, we could just walk into the brush. Like it's too late for that guy to actually react to anything when Camille has ult.
Mm.
For example, here we could just approach into this brush as you were pinging.
I wasn't sure. Do you know how long Camille's ult lasts?
Yeah, it's not long, but like you basically get to touch them, and as well like you get the jump from the brush at least to a
Mm.
minion, if not on Jax.
Yeah,
So
true,
again,
true.
to make sure that you actually get the ferocity here.
Mm.
Good.
Yeah, for the stack.
Yep. So Voluptuous mid. Okay, Voluptuous mid. That's fine. Uh, what you always want to do when you get off ganks, when you laners get solo kills, when you buy stuff like this, they're super
Mm.
low HP. One thing laners always will have to do is they want to push out this wave, unless this guy freezes, of course. They always want to push out the wave. So something you want to do with your laners, uh, you always want to help them after successful ganks, like the
Yeah,
usual. Yep.
I usually do that, but I think she had teleport. So I
Okay.
thought, okay, maybe she wants to freeze there because it's like a very good
Yeah.
position to freeze the wave. Just go back, teleport back, and you have the or even run back, and you have the whole wave.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Skulle ta mitä just to get after successful goes default resource is to help
Mm.
laners of the wave.
Also, sometimes I'm not sure because if the wave is that big and she gets the solo XP, if that's better for her, or should I just say screw it? I want the XP as well.
Uh, so it kind of comes down to jungle tracking instead
Mm.
of the XP. So for example, when we are leaving here, we are going to the crux. What the enemy volibear is going to do when he sees this and he's level 6 or something, and he's going to see this 0 HP Camille
Mm.
here. Like what's he's going to do? He's going to go pick it up again. Like it's a really free gank for the enemy jungler. We actually do
Mm.
see volibear in the mid lane here. So yep, this is really fine. But again, like we were expecting volibear to be topside at this time,
Mm. Mm.
right? So that's kind of the danger with just leaving this guy here.
Mm.
So the way I think about ganks and solo kills, ganks and solo kill plays are not over when the enemies no not over when the enemy is dead,
Mm.
but when the winner when they're in safety to recall, already
Mm.
recalling, and usually that happens after they push the wave.
Mm.
Usually after they crash wave. So this is something you can also utilize for yourself. For example, so if you were this volley you would like to gank this guy because she's here like trying to set up the wave really low
Mm.
HP. So that's kind of the reason why you always want to
Yeah, I
help these
think
guys out.
Jax also has TP still up.
Yep. Okay. Yep. We get 6 here. pressure spot. So here again, we could have really punished the volley back ganking here, like really fucking hard.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's what I'm missing.
yep,
Like being more aggressive with the lead I have.
yep. So for example, here we hit pretty fast 6, and this guy shows bot. There's no way this guy's level 6 by running from mid to bot here
Mm.
all the time. And then one thing again, we have this huge mid prior established, and we know the red buff is up because again, we took our red buff. What happens when the first buff we took is their buff, the first buff they took is gonna spawn as well.
Mm.
And what jungles have to do, they always have to be on the buff at the start, as it spawns, as you are doing right now. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
really easy again, like to kind of keep tracking the enemy jungler. First buff you took spawns. First buff enemy took spawn as well. So this is another really good point in the game, but you can kind of, if you're lost in the tracking, for example,
Mm.
this is good. This is good, like kind of a reset or default position. Is when your first buff spawns for the second time. I'm like, okay, 7 minutes. Okay, their buff is gonna spawn here as well. So
Mm.
again, and they'll have to do it. Yep. So looking for the mid play. So again, yeah, I would love to go really aggressive. I don't really mind that. I don't really care about the crab. I want to punish this volley bear for showing on the map. We know he's not on the red side yet. He's going there though, and we have this huge mid prior.
Mm. That's true.
So yep, another way we can use this mid prior is the Drake. Yep, and the bot prior as well. So now this guy shows he's level 5 still. Yep. So I really like this Drake call. Again, the reason why we have 2 lanes with prior. I love this. This is really good. 750. Good Drake call. 2 lanes with prior. So basically, the enemy mid lane and the enemy bot lane are tied to the minion wave. They couldn't come here even if they wanted to.
Mm.
And even if they wanted to, they'd have to start dropping waves and dropping CS. And laners obviously never want to do that.
Mm.
So yep, they're not protecting.
And then
Okay.
at this point, I just went away because I thought, okay, we have nothing to win here anyway. Why risk? When
Mhm.
Katarina was there, I didn't know where Volibear went in the end.
Yep. So one really good thing about this, or one really good lesson about this,
Mm.
we see the Katarina on the bot side here again. Like Katarina is here. So what you can do is we can again like we can expect where they're gonna be. They're gonna run back to mid lane, of course, because they want to hit the minions, right?
Mm.
So what we could do, we can actually go to the brush here and cut off the Katarina entirely with the Tristana here. So this is something
That's
you
true.
can always look out for,
Mm.
especially when mid lane is left to roam. Uh, Mid lane is left to roam. After the play, unless they're really low, they always come back to the wave. After the play, they always come back to the lane. So again, that means that your mid laner usually gets to have prio, and they can kind of rotate down to you and stuff like that. So always really good to look out to cut off the enemy laner from getting back to lane.
Mm.
We can look to cut them off in jungle. Like even if it's 2v2, we just hard win it because we just I think we just blow the Katarina up
Yeah.
with Tristana
I,
here. Yep, want to gank the push. Yep, I think we could have gone a bit earlier. Oh,
yeah. Nice sidestep.
let's see. So, for example, here we can see this guy commits a dash to in. Like
Mm.
he's already like balls deep into the play. That's when you can at least like start moving towards it. But yeah, let's see. Did we
Yeah,
not
I
blink
wasn't
to the
sure if they
brush?
were like 100% committed at that point. I think when he ulted him, then I went.
Yep. So I don't think you need to flash here at all either.
Yeah, I think that was just, I don't know,
Yep,
till
you can
he
just
dodged it, I don't know.
catch with movement speed and
Oh no, he had Ghost, he had Ghost.
oh, he had coast. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, ping this guy. Yep, nothing we can do now. We have no flash. We have no ult. Midlane is missing. There she is. So again, we could look to cut off. So here, right, we can actually see what happens when mid laners roam and your mid laner stays. So this guy's all the
Mm,
way here. The wave is crashed. This guy has prio, but she's late to the play. So now you could use this by trapping the
mm,
enemy mid laner from getting back and cutting them off.
mm. Or at least zone them so they don't get the farm.
Yep, really good.
I can't remember why, but for some reason I knew Volibear was there, so I cut the raptors.
I think we saw him, and of course he took the Herald.
Yeah.
I don't think Camille is really in a dying position here at all. It's kind of a tank volley bear. But yep, it's good that we are nearby. So this is what I love to do is you kind of want to think about your camps as like
Mm,
hovering the lanes as well. So Crux, for example, there you are hovering top side or top lane. Raptors, you are kind of like nearby mid lane if something happens mid lane. So that's something you want to consider
mm,
when taking your camp. So this is really good. We are kind of like hovering the lane by taking the nearby camp. That's really good. So that way we don't waste any time basically,
mm.
and we are still around if something funky does happen. So, yeah. So we have Volibear's top side. Okay. Oh, well played. Let's see. Is there anything wrong with this?
Yeah, my stacks ran out and I didn't see it.
No, did you
I thought I'm
stop your
biting him.
tracks? Oh no, we have Q. Yeah, he's just so tanky with that build. I think he had like Giant's Belt. Yeah, Giant's Belt and Kindle Gem. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's really hard to kill.
Yeah, I'm also going the one-shot build, so
Yep.
it's not much I can do
Yep. But
about
another
them.
really important thing to notice here is that we haven't actually spent our gold yet.
Mm.
Let's see. We have to push out this wave. Good. Awesome. Checking the pressure first so we don't get trapped. Good. Awesome. This is really good. Yep, this one plate should be fine. Yep. And with the resistance to ult, again, we can use somewhere else. Yep. I mean, the general rule about this is I like that you react to the enemy gank, but again, like this Volibear is kind of making the mistakes for you. So I was afraid that you go to this top lane play while
Mm.
Volibear is known to be top side and we have 2k gold. So again,
Mm.
like the same thing as the as what happened mid lane, the Volibear is kind of making the mistake for us. So if we don't consider the Volibear, we end up being the Volibear guy. You know,
Mhm.
we end up being the one who gets really hard counter ganked. But yep, this is really good. Obviously, really good reaction to the map. But again, like the general rule is also like when I have a lot of gold and it's like a 2v2 or 1v2 situation, like it's we are not gonna win the 2v2, right? Like it's just not like that,
Mm.
especially when we have 2k gold.
Yeah.
So the way I think about gold in general, or having gold in pocket, don't want to look for any fair fights. So let's say 2v2 fights, 3v3, stuff like that. When we have a lot of gold in pocket.
I
So I can
think
like,
as a, so
yep,
in my mind it's like 1,500 or something like that. If I get above that, then I just try to not fight
yep,
until I reset because then I'm so much behind
yep,
until I
exactly.
spend it.
Yep. Yep. I would say 1.5k is always the point when I'm thinking about okay, I want to recall as soon as possible. Because again, like especially in early game, it's really important. Even for like um smaller shot buys, for example, double logs for is still meaningful in early game. Of course, later on
Mm.
in the game, it's not that important anymore. But early game, the kind of the components go over the items, of course, because we actually
Mm.
don't get the items. Yep. Yep. This is really good for shot wave. Really good, actually. I love this. Have you played lanes before? You're really good at recognizing
No, I
wave
haven't
states.
played. I only play jungle because I'm so bad at last hitting.
Yeah, really good at recognizing waves. I love this. We've been recognizing the slow pushes on the top and bot side, and then we actually push out the wave as well. Really good. TPs. Yeah, I think at this point we can probably look to fight the Volibear even since we want or what we want him straight up. Since we want the Eclipse, it's really easy. Okay, probably have to hold it. He's probably gonna herald it. I'll look to herald. Wait,
Yeah, when
what
I
did you
see the
do?
third one, then I'm going back.
Wait, this is... You can still
Yeah,
get
the
max velocity on it?
no, I threw a bola.
It's through Bola.
Yeah, you get one stack for jumping
Oh, it's a jump
and
stack.
one from the bola. Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah, you
here
do
I
have the
thought,
jump
okay,
stack.
they're getting the tower, but it's 3 people, so they're sharing the gold through 3. And I can't do anything anyway, so maybe the
Yep,
Morgana will walk this way, but I think that doesn't happen.
yep.
So next thing I think is, okay, maybe bottom I can dive it, because he's on his own.
Mm-hmm. Really good, I love this. So again, the reason why I love this is what you want to do all the time. Uh, when you have exact information, on enemy jungler, always look to always look for opportunities elsewhere, like immediately. Opportunities elsewhere immediately. So this is the reason why is, but obviously you cannot do more than one play at a time as a jungler. So when he makes this, when this Volibear makes his play on the mid here, you can instantly start running towards bot here or invade or something like that. Another thing is when you have to give up something, for example, a turret. When you have to give up something, you always want to look to get something in return. That's another thing. The kind of like a mindset. Okay, I have to give up this mid turret. What can I get without going there? And again, like yeah, obviously what we wanted to do here is we want to stop the push by hitting the minions. But we are melee champion. There are 3 people full HP Volibear. Like yeah, we are not gonna make it happen. So yep, they're really good, really good. We recognize this that we cannot do anything, and we just go trade the play. So this is what we call tempo in the jungle. So basically, they can only make one play. That means they don't have time to catch you on this play when you start running right now. So we have the tempo on the bot play here. Really good. And this is what we want to do all the time because it doesn't matter if you're playing against like in 2K LP a Gurin in the jungle. When he makes a play, you have a play available elsewhere. Then they cannot beat you to it. Yep, really good W. The ult. Yep, now Volibear is coming. Probably have to run. Good. Yep, that's really good. Oh, the Karina is coming now. Oh, yep.
Yeah, I had the choice. I had to either give the kill to him or Katarina, so
Yep. Yep, I think we do miss E here, which is unfortunate, but...
I eat him now.
Oh wait, it did hit, what? That looks
The
so good.
first one, I eat him here, so he can follow up as easily.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. So yeah. So this is kind of the danger of doing tempo plays, is that obviously the enemy is gonna follow you up. So basically what you have to do is when you have a small tempo advantage, you have to do the play fast. So here, for
Yeah,
example, you could have just jumped on this guy and maybe run away, but of course, Katarina is now getting prio on the wave. The wave is crashing up. Yep,
yeah, I was hoping I can get my cooldowns back up, but everyone came.
yep. So at this point, yeah. So how we could have recognized that, okay, we are going to get collapse here really hard, is that the our mid lane is recalling. So this guy like automatically gets the push here because our mid lane is actually not in the wave at all. So basically, she's late to the wave. Mid lane gets prio. She's gonna start moving because again, like the what the laners want to do, they want to shove the wave, and then they do whatever. They recall, they roam, whatever. Like it creates them a roam timer. So that's how we could have recognized it. Okay, either we run
Yeah, I
here or
think it
we
was
have to
too
do
greedy
this
here.
really fast. Yeah, because we got a bit greedy here. But yeah, now we understand. Oh shit, but now it's too late. Yep,
Yeah, my only way out was to Q that minion, but I didn't make
yep,
it.
it's fine. Let's restart up, cleans up a bit. This is really good. I want to hold the top 5 here. Deny the Jack from
Yeah,
taking
just
the turret. Yep, love this pretty much. For 5. We are top side. Camille TP spot. We have to play top for a while. This is really good. So this is what we want to do. Obviously, when this guy TPs down bot, and we are already on the top side, we are committed to the camps. There's no way we can make it to play anyway. So what we want to do instead, again, we want to cover the lane so we don't lose CS, that we don't lose gold. Gold and XP to the turrets. Really good. So the company is basically playing the jungle now, and we are playing top lane here. Oh my god, Katarina stole it. Really good. Wow, Eclipse is so strong on so strong on Rengar now. Holy shit.
yeah. Also, I think Jax was just way behind.
Yep. Yep, and we shoved the wave. Really good. Everyone's fighting top side or bot side. Love this. Oliver shows as well. So again, Volibear shows bot lane. What can we get in return with him showing on bot lane? Again, like I want something. I want something. I always want something when the enemy jungler shows somewhere. So again, like we can think about, okay, we can do Herald. We can maybe look to innovate, stuff like that. Really good. You always want to maximize. Basically, the way you want to think about it is, okay, the enemy jungler shows. It's always like you have to think about it. Okay, they kind of creeped a bit. If they are giving something up, you always want to be there to contest it. So this is really good. Instant Herald, awesome. I love this. Again, it kind of comes down to what we talked about with the mid play. When you have excellent information on enemy jungler, look for immediate plays elsewhere. So this is one of them. Really good. Yep.
And I think it goes downhill very soon.
Oh, wait, do you lose this game?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Those are the games I shouldn't lose, but I'm losing them.
Okay, let's see. Also here after Herald, I think we could have looked for the Jax option. Usually I don't want people to start looking for the immediate option after taking objective, because obviously everyone gets this information. But we have Camel here with ult. The Jax does that ult because we just burned it. We do have ult. Like again, like we could get a kill here potentially.
True. I think
Kind of like a
it's
push out lead.
might be that I didn't see the Jax. It could have been.
Yep. Show bot side.
No, I
Yep,
see three
again,
of
we
them
have a
out there.
lot of gold. So before you transition to the other side of the jungle, just recall and spend your gold. Because
Yeah, I
again,
just
we
wanted to cover him
don't.
because there were like 3 people.
Yep. But again, we don't really want to fight a 3v2 fight when we have 2k gold in pocket. Like it's just, it's not that likely that we gonna.
Yeah, so I thought they were in the jungle, so I just went for the wolves and then went out.
Yep. Yep. Volibear still not showing up.
And then I thought, okay, I still have a lot of money, but they are all in my jungle, so I can take his jungle.
Yep. Yep. And top lane is dead. Again, we have actionable prio on the top side here. Yep. And Volibear is most likely on you camps, since all of them just disappeared the jungle. So the bad thing here is that we are kind of, you and Lulu are kind of like leaving this leaving this Lucian hanging here with everyone on the bot side. This is really dangerous. Yeah, and he ends up dying
They,
anyway.
they were in this. They were in the bush for like 2 minutes.
Yep. So actually, really well played by the enemy team. They recognize that, okay, there's nothing for us in the top side anymore. So we just, again, we want to get something in return. So what they did, they shut down the solution. They took turret and killed him. Really good. Really well played by the enemy team there. Very strong, good. Awesome. Is this second herald or first herald?
Second.
Okay. So what do you think about when you get
First,
the second herald?
I wanted to break the mid tower, but yeah, I think we get it, but nothing more than that. Yeah. So that was the thought in this moment. I don't know if I had a better chance. I knew I had the chance right now because I killed 2 people, so I can at least break mid. But usually, I guess the best way to use it is to break the base.
I wouldn't think about breaking the base quite yet. I usually think about breaking the base when I get Baron. But the
Mm.
way I think about
Mm.
second Herald usage, I always prioritize the tier 2 turrets on the side lanes.
Oh,
Prioritize
okay.
the tier 2 turrets on sides. The reason why is we can see, okay, this turret gives us 300 gold, so the exact same as the tier 1 turret here. But the side lane tier 2 turrets actually give you 600 gold. And the other thing here is that they're really hard to break. So when you place this herald, for example, on the bot side, you have
I
something
didn't know
someone in
that.
the mid. Yep. Uh,
Okay.
So it's just really easy for you to kind of like, for
Mm.
example, when you kill these players in the bot side, you can just go to the bot side here and just uh, push the push the tier 2 with Tristana. You would get it, and it's like a 2k gold for you and Tristana there, and then we can transition that to the Baron fight, which is spawning, or the Dragon,
Oof.
which is spawning really soon. So the way I think about all the carry junglers is
Mm.
carry mindset. I always want to have as much gold as possible before Baron spawns. And usually
Mm.
that's done by taking at least one or two of the side lane tier 2s, because again they give such a ridiculous amount of gold. So that's the reason why I want to always prioritize the tier 2 turrets on the side lanes.
What about if the enemy team has Anivia or something like that?
Uh, well,
Still, or?
I mean, still I always want to look out for the
Mm.
side lane. So we can actually talk about Baron macro here in a bit as well, but I'm just gonna show you league minimap. Actually, we can probably talk about this with the Baron play if we
Mm.
do get Baron here. So yeah, we're gonna come back to that. But yeah, basically the reason why I want to start sieging side lanes instead of the mid lane with Herald and with Baron is because when you start pressuring these turrets, the people from mid will start rotating here, and then your team can basically free hit the mid turret instead. And then again,
Mm.
like, okay, now they're threatening the mid turret, so they come walking back from here. So basically, the reason why I want to push the side lane, if we have a player in the top lane and we summon Herald on the mid lane, this guy's just gonna walk to the mid lane here, and the bot lane guy's also gonna walk to the mid lane here. But if we are using it the bot side, it takes it so long for this top side guy to come and respond to the push anyway. So that's
Mm.
kind of the reason why I want to prioritize the side lane push first before the mid lane. Yep, again recall, good. Yep, blue tripping a ward so you don't get sneaked the Baron, good. Ambitious top. Volibear's there, but I think we have just enough time to just rush it. Good. We got a TP here coming in.
Yeah, here I die.
Let's see. Oh no.
Yeah, here I thought I was in the bush.
Oh
Clicked
yeah,
on
into the
Morgana,
jungle.
but I wasn't in the bush. In hindsight, I think I should have went just on a Katarina.
Yep. So the way I think about all these, especially when you're playing a melee assassin, what you want to do is,
Mm.
unless you are really that strong that you can just jump into three people and kill them all, what you usually want to do is you want to wait until they get to that, like, okay, I just kill them and they are dead,
Mm.
stage. And again, usually, what happens is when you're playing melee and the enemy team has such strong melee here, for example, Volibear is going to dive in, Katarina is going to dive in. Again, like we have to think about who's going to dive, and then we can maybe punish the diver with melee. And in general, in fights, you always want to hit the target your team is able to focus. And
Mm.
that's usually the case when people start diving you. So, for example, enemy has Jax, enemy has Katarina, Volibear, are gonna dive your backline. Maybe we can look to look to peel them off with damage. Or the other thing we can do is we can go for the backline when they do dive. But the important thing here is that the enemy is gonna dive, and we want to let that happen before we actually go in. So again, like we can either match the dive of the enemy backline, or we can help our backline from getting dove. Yep, let's see this again actually. I mean, this is kind of the play you can go for when you're playing Duskblade. You can kind of like dive into people, get one pick off, then you go invisible, then you can kind of like keep going. But when we are playing the kind of more bruiser build with the clips here, it's just like it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You have to be really fed for that to happen. Of course, you have a lot of champ mastery, but again, yep, this is something I could see you doing if you were playing the Duskblade build, for sure. Jax was actually top side here. But yeah, I mean, the play goes sour because we didn't wait for the play to happen before. We basically initiated the play when we don't want to do that. So if you look at the position of our laners here, when you dive on these guys, like who's able to help you? Who's able to focus the guy you are focusing right now? Tristan is all the way here with low HP, of course. Lucian is here. The Katarina is obviously jumping in, but we actually see the Katarina, so it's not a big deal. But again, like if this Katarina was unseen here, it could be a disaster for your team anyway. Because these
Yeah.
guys are so low.
It's a
It's like,
pentakill.
yeah.
Just waiting to happen.
So again, it's kind of like recognize how the enemy team wants to fight, how your team wants to fight. So we want to, we have a really strong backline. We have two ADCs here and a Lulu, so we have a really strong backline. And the enemy has a really strong dive with 3 melee champs. So again, we want to kind of think about, okay, do I want to kill the divers with my team and focus them, or do I just want to mash the dive and kill the enemy backline who are being unprotected? He had a splash. Good. I mean, it's not too bad. We don't lose anything for it. Again, especially in Baron time, I love to start buying pinks. Usually I hate buying pinks on carry junglers, but like when the Baron spawns, that's like the moment that I'm like, okay, now I need to start buying pinks. Usually in general, like for objective time as you want to get pinks, but especially for Baron.
Yeah, I started doing that in the last few games because I realized for whatever reason no one wards it for my team. So I thought, okay, then I guess I'll be the one warding it. Because rarely I see it warded.
Oh. Let's get gold here. Yep. And that's not the reason, but of course you also want to have at least 2 pings on objective, so you can deny entrance to the entrance to the site, and you can maybe look for bulk, whatever. So yep, pings are really good for objectives. So gives us a squad here. We have 2 players young on the map. Yep. Tristan is following up. Yep, that's good. Again, kind of a dusk play to make here. So for example, if the enemy top and ADC actually were here, since they are the unseen people here. So if they actually were here, we could be in really big trouble with their clean.
Yeah, that's why I went a little bit to the left corner just to see if someone's in this corner, but wasn't the case.
Yep, then we clear the vision. Good again. We have to be really careful of getting caught here. Yep. And now our team is back. Now we can kind of like play more aggro and position more aggro.
Here I get a little bit of a shock.
Oh my god.
I think it's like 1 item Jax.
Yep. Jax is really strong in the melee champ. Especially AD. Yep, get reset. We reset for resource, and now we can maybe look for ults. Some cheeky picks. Good. Again, they did the same thing which happened to you in the bot lane. They actually didn't see what happened, and now they almost got caught out for that. Yep. So obviously, even when you're fighting, you don't want to tunnel too hard. For example, they're kind of like small situations when you're,
Yeah.
for example, this situation, like we are walking towards the enemy, like we are not in a fight right now, but we are basically in a fight. So this is the reason that, okay, now I want to kind of check the lanes. Okay, is someone moving? Is someone coming here? So this is really important,
Yeah, well,
especially
I
for
was
early game.
hoping to jump on her, one
Yep.
shot her, and then run under the tower, but the jump didn't go off.
Yep.
Was too far. She was too close to the wall.
Yeah, we can definitely 1v1 this voli at this point if we can kill this
Yeah.
Morgana. So probably it's just like if you don't get the jump here, obviously the jump would be really good here. We don't get the jump. Yeah, I guess we just committed on the jump anyway, so we have to go. Yep, good W.
Yeah, but I could have easily died there.
Yep. So yeah, again, like my game plan is I want to get a tier 2. So the usual way to go about Baron push in general,
Mm.
right? So the usual way to go about Baron push in general is you want to push 2 lanes at the same time. But so the way I think about it, okay, let's see. So we start pushing mid lane here, and we start pushing bot lane here. I don't really
Mm.
care about the top lane. I don't want to be pushing 3 waves at the same time because that leaves us prone to getting dove on one side. So usually the way I think about it is I want to push out 2 lanes at the same time. So again, what happens? We start pushing this turret. There's like 5 people here, and we kind of play it slow. You have to really play it slow with Baron because the minions do so much work for you. So we have 5 people here. We have one guy pushing here. So we start threatening this turret. We take the first turret here, for example, and these guys are gonna realize, oh shit, there's like a guy pushing all the way here. So they have kind of 2 options. They can either try to hard force the mid play here, or
Mm.
they can start rotating to protect the bot lane turret. And then we just keep going forward if they're still on the mid lane here, and then they're like, oh shit, and now they start rotating between the turrets. And now what happens on the mid lane again? Now we would have the numbers on the mid lane, and now we can push out the mid lane turret. So basically, the way you siege in this game is with Baron is you just kind of look to create scenarios where your team can free hit the turret, and we can
Mm.
free hit the turret while the enemy is rotating, because obviously at this time they are not on the waves.
Mm.
So we take this turret and Jesus Christ. We take the first turret, and then they're gonna realize again they're like all the way here, and they're like, oh shit, not to go here. So they go back, run back here, and again, then we can press the tier 2 turret. So that's basically the way you think about.
So basically, like badminton, let them run around.
Yeah, yep. Just make them run around because when they are rotating, when enemies are rotating between turrets, they obviously cannot hit they cannot hit the minions. And again, they have to just start running around the turrets when you're pressuring a lot of turrets at the same time. Another thing
Mm.
here with Baron, I wouldn't like to be clear with my camps here. So really important thing, especially with Baron, I want to be in sync with my team. So when my team is on the map, ready to make plays, Lucian is coming out of base, Tristan is coming out of base. Lulu is gonna spawn here. I want to recall. I want to be on the map at the same time as these guys. So what happens when you create for these camps is you're gonna see. Uh,
I think I wanted to heal up on them.
okay. Yep, I mean that's fine,
But
but
yeah.
still we are losing like 700 HP.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I die.
Oh no.
He jumped on Katarina
Yeah,
when the same moment I flashed.
yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think from now on it's just downhill.
Let's see. Yep, I mean I think this pick is fine. Or the idea of trying to get this pick is fine, but yeah, Karen shows up. Yep, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's still
Yeah,
decent.
at this point I don't know why, but I felt like really powerless.
Mhm.
Like I lost control at that point, I think.
Yep. What's the drag situation? Okay. 1-2. Yep. So I can basically see what's happening. We have the mid lane push here. We would have the bot push here, for example, stuff like this. So yeah, this
Mm.
is why I want to kind of press the side lanes with Baron. Yep. And we start moving towards the Drake. So this is really
Yeah, I
dangerous.
think
There's no one strong on the map except Jax, no not to be top side. Mid laners are dead. We're kind of asking for trouble here.
Yeah, I think I left it.
Yep, good. We have to leave it. There's too many people here. Too few of us.
I tried to smite it, but no.
Yep. Again, you would probably die here
Yeah,
if the
also I'm
enemy was
baiting
more ready
Lucian.
for it. Yep.
Also I'm baiting Lucian, yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's another thing. Yeah. So you're kind of like signaling, okay, I want to go in, and yeah, then the Lucian might in. So yeah, that's obviously another thing you want to consider is when you go for this kind of aggressive GC plays, you're kind of baiting your team in by doing them. But yeah, obviously no one dies, so it's good. But again, that in another game, this would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Going for this, they have so strong CC and dive, and we just kind of drop our ult. We have no flash.
I
We
mean,
cannot even follow
Varus
this
just
guy.
has to flash ult me.
Yeah, exactly. Or just volley ults on you and Qs you, and Morgana hits you with the Morgana hits you with the roots and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yep. Yep, now we can look to, so this is another thing about the Baron push. Now we can look to cut them off into rotation. So we can go camp this jungle again, like what we talk about with the mid play. This is kind of the same scenario. And we start threatening this, and they are like on the mid lane here. They're like, oh shit, we have to go defend the top lane. So again, they're gonna walk to the jungle, and that's when we can try to look to pick them off.
Mm. Yeah, I think she'll die again.
Good ult bait, awesome. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't realize Tristana wasn't there.
Yep. Yeah, I guess we just jump into too many people and Katarina ults. We just cannot uh,
Mm.
last damage. But yeah, again, like we are looking for an unfair fight. Uh, so
Yeah, it
basically,
was an
general,
unfair fight, but for us.
yeah, it was an unfair fight for us. Yeah, exactly. So the way I think about like in general, like general philosophy, you always want to be the one taking the unfair fight. You don't want to be a part of the unfair fight for your team. Basically,
Mm.
you always want to look for unfair fights. So yeah, so that's the one thing about this is that it's 3v3. Tristana's on the bot side again. Like this guy's not on the map yet. So one thing you could do is we could kind of like bait around here. I guess the Camille. So this is kind of like I guess the Camille now baited us in instead. So basically the same thing we were about to do the delusion. So this guy goes in, he's dead. Like there's nothing we can do. We just have to run at this point, unless we can maybe hit this guy over here
Mm.
again because Lucian is able to hit the Katarina. The Lucian is not able to hit anyone else here. So when we go back to the infights, we have to. You want to hit the target the team is able to focus. So for example, this Lucian here, he's one of your main damage carries here. Of course, in the fight we have a Camel top and Lulu here. So again, like we want to fight with the guy who's able to fight with us because
Mm.
even if this guy's really strong here, he's not nowhere near the fight here. You can see. So this is kind of the thing. We have to think about okay, who is our team able to hit if we go in, if we start the fight.
I think I'm tunneling a lot in those fights.
Yep. Yep.
Like my vision basically just turns into like a tunnel only,
Yeah.
only for this point, and I just don't see the Katarina anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is little. Which is the low HP target, but the low HP target is a pretty tanky one. So yeah. But the biggest issue here is that we don't recognize that. Okay, we have to think about our teammates always in these fights. Because this guy is not able to react to the fight. If this guy
Yeah,
was
I think
able to react to the fight, maybe we can win it. But again,
yeah, I
like,
think the fight shouldn't even have happened.
yeah, of course. Yep. I mean, yeah, that's obviously something the Camille here initiated, but again, we want to
Yeah,
enable
I
our
don't have to
ADC to
follow
be
it
into
up.
the fight. Yep. So this is really good up until this point. Really good. So yeah, basically us going on this guy gave the Katarina kind of a green light to come into the fight
Mm.
because she already pushed the Lucian out of the fight. So yeah, that's definitely the problem here in this fight. Of course, it's kind of a hindsight thing to say, but again, focus this guy so you can enable delusion to come into the fight. And again,
Mm.
we want to hit the target our team is able to hit. Really important.
It's the second fight where I should have jumped the Katarina and I didn't.
Yep. Yep. It's fine. Okay. So yeah, obviously this Baron play has been horrendous. We have gotten 0 turrets with it.
Mm.
So basically, the Baron play is getting really out of hand when we are going for these fights. Instead of like playing slow with the waves. For example, this Tristana here is not able to have any pressure yet, but she would be in like 30 seconds or so.
Mm.
Stuff like
So
that.
basically, all began because I didn't base when the Baron was done. If I had based when the Baron was done, I would have been with Tristana. She wouldn't have died. Jax would have died, and then we wouldn't have the problems.
Yeah, I mean in general, with Baron, you want to sync your recall with the team.
Mm.
Obviously, here we did recall after the Baron here. So yeah, teams again looking into a really bad fight here. Yep, yep, and now
Yeah, I
would
thought
be a
like
good time to recall.
yeah, I think just thought I can heal up on the 3 camps and be there with Tristana, but I guess going back would have been faster.
Yep, and it's like in general, like there's always a chance that maybe someone is trapping your jungle here, for example, or stuff like that. So
Mm.
obviously, you always want to be full HP when you come out of when you want to impact the map. Like we are not able to impact the map at this moment, for example, at all
Mm.
because we are so
Yeah,
low
true.
HP.
It's risky.
Yeah, so that's the main issue. We want to be as ready to impact the map as possible. But yeah, and like our team is also not playing it slow at all. Like the way you think about it is how I talk about it is we want to push out the waves and we want to wait for the enemies to kind of like start to panicking. Is they have to think like, okay, we have to make a decision now. We have to either defend this mid wave or go to the top turret. But for example, here the enemy is just like able to do everything because we are not doing anything. Obviously,
Mm.
that's kind of a team difference here, but in general, like you want to play it slow with turret and kind of wait for the push to happen before committing the plays.
Mm.
So yeah, with Baron, always want to get out on the map at the same time as a team. So in general, um, sync recall with team, really important with Baron.
Yeah, I think now what follows will already be sad.
Yep. Yeah, we can look at this. We can look for a fight here, for example.
Here I thought he just surrendered himself, but he baited me.
Mm, this people rotating from mid here. This coast.
I don't know why, but at this point I thought, okay, I need to make every play I see, and yeah.
Yeah, but obviously this kind of reach, chasing all the way, from
Mm.
tier 2 all the way to enemy tier 3, especially when we saw the enemies being mid here, so they are already running here. Yep, I like the idea of going for this play, but like this part is like really creep that we are running so deep into here, when we know that the enemies
Mm.
are rotating from mid side because we saw them there. For example, if we hit the Camille there, we could have just picked up the kills and that would have been chill, and we could have looked for Baron or something like that.
Yeah, that was grief.
Yep.
And I don't know,
Baron.
was the game at that point already doomed or?
No, I don't think so. Like I think after whoever gets this Baron and wins the team fight, then the game is doomed. But I think at this point the
Mm.
game is pretty even actually. I think we can still win it. But yeah, it's obviously it's gotten hard from the point we were in at like 15 minutes.
Mm.
Let's see actually this fight. So the steal. Yeah. The exclusion had 0 mana, which is not able to commit on the dive. Yep, I mean this at this point, yeah, you have to make the Hail Mary play. You have to go for the steal because again, like as I said, whoever wins this fight and who gets Baron, they're gonna
Mm.
win because now we are even into the game and it's 30 minutes Baron. Yep, Yep, and I think now we just lose the game.
Yeah, no, it ends.
I think the biggest issue here is that we are kind of like looking for so desperate picks when we don't really have to.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know why, but at this point I felt like I said, I felt desperate. Like I need to
Hmm.
do something. I need to make risky plays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But again, like in general, when Baron is spawning, you don't want to make risky plays.
Mm.
Obviously, you're like really far behind, then you have to go for the Hail Mary play. Then you have to go for the uh, the faker play, you know. But like
Mm.
the game is actually pretty even here, so we still have a chance of doing like a normal approach to the Baron here, for example. But we dying here just gives up all the pressure of the Baron here, and now then it makes us so we have to face check this team, and obviously that's really bad when we don't have a really good dive comp. The enemy has a really good dive comp. They could really easily turn this fight, for example.
Mm.
But yep. It's good. Tristana is just jumping on someone. Yeah. Yeah, this point is too. Yeah. So probably the most important issues in this game were the recalls. We just were too greedy with the recall. We were staying on the map for so long, and we
Mm.
weren't able to impact the map because we had so much gold. We were so low on resource.
Mm.
So that would be something I would like you to focus on in future games.
The recalls, okay.
Yep. Focus in future games. Recalls, especially when a lot of gold. And another thing is when we have the item power spike. For example, here we have
Mm.
the item power spike. We are the bottom side of the map. We want to go to the top side. Just recall, get the item, and then we can do all this shit. Because again, like when we recall, especially when we are ahead in the game, that's when we want to recall. Kind of like as often as possible when we have these power spikes, because again, it makes us so much stronger than the enemy
Mm.
team or the enemy players.
Especially the bot lane now resets, so when I'm then if I go top and go down again, then they'll be in the lane again.
Yep, recall especially on item power spikes, also on high gold amount. Makes you helps you react to the map, helps you impact the map. And maybe in this game another thing is we could utilize the mid push more
Mm.
when we have such a strong mid
Yeah,
lane here.
I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, so we could have, for
Except the
example,
dragon.
yeah, we could have hard invaded the voli pair, for example, stuff like that.
Mm.
The really good things about this game is how you recognize waves. It's early game, really fucking good. I love that. The top lane gank was really good. Also, one thing I wanted to say about the top lane gank,
Mm.
really important here is that I love this gank so much because of the timer in the game. I'm gonna find 6 minutes here. So the reason why I love this is so much. 610 solo lanes hit level 6 usually on like the third cannon wave, which is at
Mm.
6 minutes. Level 6 at 6 minutes. So it's like we kind of like waiting for the ult here. I love this. It's so fucking good. So yeah. So solo lanes hit level 6 in 6 minutes. Junglers 7 to 8. And bot 8 to 9. So another thing you can do is when you hit 6 as jungler, that means the enemy
Yeah.
bot is not 6 yet. So again, like we have this small window, this 1 minute window when we can ult towards the bot and they don't have ults yet. But yep,
Mm.
I really like this because again we enable the setup as we talked about at the start of the game. The Camille enables the setup with the level 6, and we just kind of happen to be here for the level 6, but it's not like we happen to be here at 6 minutes in the game. They're gonna get 6 on this wave. I love this. This is
Mm.
so good. But yeah, see, this is the like recall on power spikes. That's really important. For example, here it would be so good. We just run straight top. This is really good. Again, we help push out the wave. Good. Yep. Because now we end up on the top side anyway, and we still haven't recalled.
Mm.
Another really good thing to when to recall is when you are kind of shifting between the sides of the lane or the sides of the
Mm.
jungle. So it's
Yeah,
like
I think
we can just recall here, get the item, really good.
yeah, I think here I also cleared basically in the opposite I should have because I want to go bot lane anyway.
Mm,
So I could have also just reset and went top and then done the bot camps with
yep,
my items
yep, exactly.
because this doesn't give me anything.
Yep. I mean, now we kind of clear the camps here, and then we go in bot side. Oh, we ended up with this play instead. Yep. Yep, and now we can go bot side with our ult. Yep, so it's still good. But again, like, of course, kind of hindsight here. But yeah, obviously want to make the most consistent play as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be to just recall. So the general rule I would like for you to have and look out for in the
Mm-hmm.
games when you have the gold for your mythic, especially when you are ahead.
Yeah.
Just don't give a shit about your camps. Just recall, get the item, and you're like so much more ready to snowball the game.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like the
Okay.
most important thing here. Helps you impact the map. Also in team fights, we want to kind of recognize what the enemy team comp wants to do and what our team comp wants to do. So, for example, a few situations here, we kind of like got a bit too excited. And here we didn't actually get to enable the solution to even enter the fight because we missed that the Katarina is a zone in this guy so hard, and we need to kind of help this guy to get into the map or get into the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because you jumping on these guys always gives the green light to Katarina. There was one team fight before. I think it was Drake. Was it? Yeah, here.
Yeah, this one.
So here again, like okay, the enemies have a really strong dive. The Volibear is actually already running up. Like if you just let this Volibear run up, yeah, then we could just like kill these guys, even kill the virus. We could just go for the virus here. So kind of like just be patient, especially when you're playing champions like Kha'Zix, Rengar. You just really need
Mm-hmm.
to be patient. You really need to wait for the fight to happen before you go in there and shuffle the deck, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I'm always scared, that if I don't go in, it's just we'll all just die.
Mm. Yeah, but that's something you want to think about when you're playing
Mm-hmm.
like Maokai or Wukong. But as assassin, you want to be really opportunistic. You want to be the guy entering last, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, kind of think about how the team fight will happen. For example, when you're dead like this is a good time to think about. Okay, you can just press tab and see what the enemy team comp is like, and it's like okay, they have 3 melee champions. They probably want to dive my ADCs. Maybe what do I want to do in return? Do I want to dive the enemy backline instead, or do I want to help them fight the front line? So again,
Mm-hmm.
like we have this kind of moments in the game where you have nothing to do. For example, we are dead. We are running out of base. Like this is the time when you get to think about the game. So that's something you want to think about. And then you also
Mm-hmm.
want to recognize how the enemy team wants to fight and how we want to counter that. For example, the dive. This game, enemy really strong dive. We have really strong backline. We can focus fire. Focus fire the divers. Or trade or trade or trade the dive. But again, like the important thing here is that dive is gonna happen
Yeah,
unless you are
I
the one diving.
think I think the only way to win team fights is more or less the Katarina. So if she jumps in and gets an ult on
Mm.
everyone, so
Yep,
because I think
exactly.
their bot lane was behind, so they don't do a lot except the CC. But when we were playing like on our backline, the CC won't reach us.
Yeah,
So yeah, I should have only focused the Katarina.
yeah. The Katarina is really important here because again, like we have we have a really strong backline,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and a really easy diveable backline as well for Katarina. So yeah. Yep. So yeah, in this game, we don't want to trade the dive because the enemy bot lane is so irrelevant. We want to kind of disable the Katarina and just like wait for here to jump in because again, the dive is gonna happen. They have to get close to deal damage, and they will. Unless you are the one who jumps close to them, then they're like, oh, I don't need to jump close. He already did, kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you again, you want to be the guy who gets to say that, not the other way around, you know.
Yeah, she would have died as well.
Yep. And then we could have maybe looked to clean up the entire fight after. But yeah, so basically the issue here is that again, us jumping in gives the Katarina a green light to go in because we are the biggest threat to this Katarina right now.
Mm-hmm.
She sees you go in, she's like, "Oh shit, I can just look for this flank here." The Volibear is the Rengar is all the way here, like fighting everyone else. So again, like we have to kind of think about the
Yeah, they should
enemy
kill
win condition
Tristana.
as well. Yep.
So
Uh,
basically, how are they supposed to win the team fight?
yep. And who's the win con? Who's kind of the win con for the team fight?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the enemy win con for the team fight? Katarina. So, for example, if they have someone, if the Varus, for example, was the win con, then yeah, we'd probably look to trade the dive and kind of like just look to or wish that our team can kite it out when the
Mm-hmm.
Volibear and the stuff dive in, as we can trade the dive and go on the Varus instead. So yeah, we have to recognize the enemy win con as well as we have to recognize our own win con. Basically, our win con in this game is to enable our backline to deal damage. And of course, we are really strong. But again, like, so when you are the win con, for example, in this game, we are the strongest member. Again, we have to play really, really kind of still like patient and what's the word? Selfish.
Smarter.
Yeah, yeah, smart, I guess, but yeah, but like selfish. We want to be the last guy to go. We want to be the one who picks up all the kills and kills everyone. That's basically what we want to do when we are playing carry junglers. Mm, high gold amount. Also, one thing about the recall or low resources. HP mana. Of course, we don't
Mm-hmm.
have mana, but HP helps you impact the map. Yep. This is pretty much all. Do you have any questions about this VOD or anything in general?
No, I think we've discussed it
Yep.
very thoroughly.
Yep. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send you these notes in Discord right now. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna send you the link as well. And what I want you to
Cool.
do is I want you to watch it back at least a few times because it's a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1 hour is like doom, 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 doom. It's just a shit ton. So you have to watch it a few times to kind of like make sure something at least sticks.
Mm-hmm.